What is up, everybody? So, I don't know why my screen didn't pull up, but there has been a lot of talk about Cathay. Now let's dive in and see what it is here. Let me get this, my window capture. Boom. My kid's up there going crazy. One gets done being sick and now the other one's sick. That's how it works for me. Alright, let's get this thing big. Lower it. Let me get this fixed. Boom. Boom. Expand. Boom. Okay. Live capture. Let me turn my mini webcam off. Let me get the window capture. Boom. Okay. So now that we have that going on, let's get into this. Let's see what they say about Cathay. I'm going to give my personal opinion for anybody that's watching this on replay on the tubes, and then I'm going to go and open up the floor to everyone else. I am a Cathay. I won't lie about it, and let's see if they did. Boom. Just to pull my own thing here. Now, everyone has been going crazy about this image here because there's a Cathay hill that is shown in it. I'll bring that up over here. Boom. And then here's this. And here is this, right? So, what we got here is boom. Image, boom, browse, desktop, boom. So right here, people are saying this is this. Fair, could be, absolutely could be, maybe it is. Let's zoom it in right there, let's get all of that, make it nice and big, bam. And then what their other saying is the skeleton is the transparent background and this is filling it. And now, I'm not here to say that that's not Cathay or the hill from Cathay. I don't think that they would just show a random image. What I am here to say is because we're seeing that image, it doesn't mean it's going to come true. Now, we have Squarebase over here talking about Cathay on square bases. So, we got this. Nice little freaking update back when Keysliv was going to get redone. Oh, there they are. And I'm not saying it's not going to get done down the road, but they kind of backed out of it. Here was some maps. Oh, some teases of models that they actually made back in the day. Some really cool artwork. And then we got nothing. So, while I would like to see Cathay get redone, and I would like to see Cathay have some sort of place on the tabletop, and Araby and Nippon and the Amazon and all of that, Vampire Coast, I don't know if it's feasible to really get worked up. Now, one thing I do think that will happen is if we come over here, go to the Horus Heresy, and we go to, what is it called? Exemplary Battles. Now, we look at something like this. This book was literally just a bunch of PDFs of the into a book, and then events said now you could use them because some events weren't allowing you to use legendary PDF units in events. So with the same thing, dude, yeah, but squats aren't the same thing as Votann. Votann are space dwarves with androids and AI, and 40K is also, and I hate to say it, but 40K is bigger. 40K is going to get the attention. It's going to get the love. It's going to get the recalls. And while Old World's doing fairly good, it's akin, in my opinion, to the Horus Heresy. Now, I could see them bringing out all the legendary PDF files and putting them into an exemplary battles book like this and then reselling it. People will buy it. Shit, I'm one of the people that bought the book. But Cathay and Araby are unique. And Nippon and all of that because they never even got minis. Here they previewed Keysliv and showed the minis they actually made for Keysliv, and then they did nothing with it. Now, I'm not saying that it's not going to come at a later time or they didn't, freaking have intentions of doing it, but it's exciting. I want to see new content. I would love to see campaigns. I'd love to see Cathay. I'd love to get super excited for it, but I just don't think that a background image that looks like some trees with a hill and a blimp is really something that we should just base ourselves and get excited for, because it could not happen. And just like in this case where we got really cool art and really cool concepts and a tease of Kislev, it just didn't happen. So it's not that I'm saying, it's not going to happen. I'm just saying they've teased more and done nothing with it. So it's just like, don't get excited till we got actually eyes on a model and we see it coming. So that way, if it doesn't come or it gets put on the back burner like Kislev did, people aren't excited for no reason. I think there's tons of things to be excited about. High Elves are coming out soon. Beastmen are coming out after. Wood Elves. And then on top of it, all the factions are now done. So, I don't know. I mean, a year to release models they already made, or was it 2? No, it's been, I think by the time they finish releasing all of the range, because if we come back over here, High Elves are next in the chute, Beastmen and Wood Elves. I think if they stay on track, they release the next 2 armies relatively quick. I think they'll be on track to have released everything within the year. Because I believe March is when it came out. I have to check, but I believe, let me look at it real fast. So if we look at it like that, I want to say Old World came out in March. Old World release. Oh no, it came out in January. So no, they're already kind of past the year mark. But if they release Beastmen and Wood Elves within the next couple months, it took them like a year and 2 months to drop out every faction that they put out day one. And like I said in my other video that I didn't tag it right or something. I released it when it first dropped. But I believe that all the Arcane Journals were written around the same time as the Army books, mostly because they don't kind of power creep. They don't have anything that's different. They all utilize the rules similarly, and they're just drip feeding the Arcane Journals with the Army, which, hey, that's business. That's how they're going to do it. I don't have an issue with that. My only thing is while I would love nothing more than to see Cathay drop, and that would be cool, and I would be happy if Cathay dropped this year. But like I said, we have 2 pieces of evidence where they've dropped more than a background image that was blurry, where they had models in previous editions, even though it was in White Dwarves and little things like that, and artwork with ice weapons and the guard, and a whole nother article. They made 2 posts about it. I just think that, as much as I would like to see it, and as much as I would be happy to see Cathay, we have 2 posts that showcased more that did nothing with it. Look at the AOS and 40k roadmap, same concept for teasing the next. My issue that I'm saying, that I think you're misinterpreting, I'm not saying that's not the Cathay photo. I'm saying it could be the Cathay photo. It very much could be Cathay in the background, but we have 2 posts from the past that have everything else shown in it too, and it didn't come to fruition. They can scrap a project with the old world and say, oh, well, we couldn't get around to it, or something came up, or this happened, or like whatever excuse they gave for Kislev. But what we do know is that at the end of the day, right now, they didn't drop Kislev, and they got 2 articles and all this other stuff with it. So I'm saying, like, is Cathay out of the question or the realm of possibility? No. Is that not maybe Cathay Hills in the background of Tomb Kings with it blended in? No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that we've had more to go off of in the past of literal posts, and then nothing came of those posts. Now, I'm not hypocritical. I love Old World. I want to see campaigns. I'd like to see a bunch of stuff come out. I want to see Kislev. I want to see Nippon, Cathay, Araby, all of it. Will we? I don't know. Will it come to fruition? Maybe. Will we see Cathay in a year? I don't know. Same people said things about Kislev being a starter army in a starter box, and rather than that, we got Bretonnia and Tomb Kings in separate boxes for a starter set. So I'm just saying, maybe we shouldn't get overly hyped up and excited about some background art when we got all overly excited and hyped about Kislev and nothing came of it. And I covered these on the channel. People were excited. They were all talking about all this crazy stuff that was going to happen, how wonderful it was going to be, and then boom. Now, what I think is more likely to happen, what I believe, is we're going to get something like the Exemplary Battles. I'm going to say it last time I say it, but I think we're going to get the Legacy PDFs put into a book, They're going to sell it. It's going to clear things up for events so that way they can play the legacy armies and people can get into events that would otherwise be kind of paywalled but to just the regular factions. But I don't know. I am not the end-all, be-all of old world knowledge. I just would hate to get everyone super excited and then nothing comes of it like Kislev. So that's all my point is. Everyone, if you want to talk or tell me what your opinion is or tell me what a dummy I am, please feel free. Because I'm open to other opinions. I'm open to being wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see Cathay. It would be freaking sweet. It's a faction that has had some freaking hardcore fandom behind it. It did well with Total War Warhammer 3. So there's no reason why they shouldn't bring it. I just don't want to get excited for something that might not make it, you know. So that's my point in and of itself. What's everyone else think? I'm just saying, look at the AOS and 40k roadmaps. Yeah, I get that. But like I said, you know, and cold in your basement, turn on the heater. Nah, dude, I can't get hyped about something that might not happen, man. I have to see it. Once I see a physical model previewed on Warhammer the Old World, I will talk about how great it is and praise Cathay to the high heavens. But I want to see something that solidifies that they're actually going to support Cathay. And I don't want to get excited for something that might not happen. Cathay's a freaking dope faction. It's got great lore. It's something that was never explored in 8th edition very much, or in 6th, or any of that. And I would love to see it come. I would love to see what kind of mechanics they bring. I'd like to see what they do with it. Yeah, 100%. But I don't want to like get all in the air and start, Cathay's coming, everybody, come to me, look at all this. It's hard to get hyped up when the Ice Guard of Kislev got showed off and there was no Ice Guard that came out. You know what I mean? So that's just my thing. I'm not here to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just saying, you know, let's put away all the excitement and stuff that we want to see and maybe think objectively here about what else could come of it. And even if they don't make Cathay, or even if they say it's Cathay and they release stuff like this, that still doesn't guarantee that it's going to drop. The old world is not 40k, and unfortunately the old world is going to be Age of Sigmar. It's going to have its own type of people with it. It's going to have its own type of support, and that they are a little bit more free to change and manipulate and go around as they want when it comes to the content that they'll bring to the old world. Now, do I think Cathay is not going to? But based off what we've seen, which is 2 army books for Forces of Fantasy and Ravening Hordes, with all the factions in there, supplemented with arcane journals specifically for each faction. If they release Cathay as a one-off book, which I could see them doing it because the lore and everything else to fill people in and all the different heraldry. I'm not opposed to the one-off book. I'm just saying that they would have to do a little bit more than what they've done for the factions. And again, I tapped on this in Discord, but if you look at something that they have done, here, where is this? Let's look at Warhammer 40,000. This is a game that gets supported a poop ton. And now look at the World Eaters. I love the World Eaters, but what did they get? They got Combat Patrol, Angron, Karn. They got Berserkers, Jackals. 8-bound that makes Exalted 8-bound. 1 character on a Juggernaut. Yeah. And the Corn Tank, which has been out for eons at this point. So they didn't really get a lot that made their range fleshed out. They took and borrowed from Chaos Space Marines, which I'm cool with, but if you really look at it, you got 1, 2, he's been out for a while, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 of those are the same kit. So they got 6 model kits for that faction. Contrary to a faction that launched in the start box, so let's look at Xenos and go to Tyranids. Tyranids got an entire range refresh, but they're also riding that hype train of being part of Leviathan. So, I mean, it's just a little bit, for me, like, if we look at trends and stuff, I don't think we're going to get anything crazy. And I think Old World could be compared kind of akin to the Horus Heresy. And if we look at the Horus Heresy, it's been out for, 3 years now? It's rumored to be getting another edition. I don't know how true the rumors are, and I don't know if we really need another edition. Let's look at the forces of the armies of the War Master and look at Demons of the Runestorm. This is a faction that had rules previously in 1st edition, and we've gotten Runestorm Demon Brutes, Kabanda, this thing, Samus has been around, Korvax's Utter Blight has been around. 3 minis. We go to, let's look at something like, I don't know, Solar Auxilia, right? They've gotten this plastic range released, which is nice. It's great. It's replaced a lot of resin kits. But here, resin, plastic, which is trash. It's horrible to work with. The flamers are still resin. And that is something where this is a completely supported faction that already had models, and they couldn't even release the entire range out in plastic. So if they do Cathay, if they do Cathay, they got to create an entire army to be akin to one of the armies with the least amount of options, to be able to field it on the tabletop, maintain balance, and then maintain support for that army. I just think that it's a lot to ask for, but I'm just saying, if we look at things like the Horus Heresy, it's been 3 years, and we've had some plastic kits make it, or some resin kits become plastic, and not a whole lot of new stuff coming out, and a ton of army books that were just, kind of filler for some stuff. And I love the Horus Heresy. I play the crap out of it. But that's just my opinion. I'm one dickhead on the internet with my own opinions, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean I know everything, or I'm pretending to know everything. I'm just casting my little bit of disbelief into the pile of everyone getting excited because hype builds views and hype builds all this, and I appreciate that. I like it, but I want to be objectively thinking here instead of thinking about what I want. I would love to see Cathay, just like I would have loved to see Kislev. Just like I'd like to see Demons of the Runestorm get supported. Doesn't mean that we'll get it. Whether it's a little background image of a hill with trees and fluffiness on it and everyone's happy, great. We had 2 articles with maps, art, and everything else, and nothing came of it. So what I do believe that might be, that missing book, maybe is probably going to be a legacy PDF. Maybe years down the line, a year or 2 down the line, maybe they'll say, oh, look, it was Cathay. Maybe they're building hype. Maybe they're just building freaking hype for the old world. Who knows why they're doing what they're doing. But that's what I'm saying. Friggin' Crypt Shadow. Anyways, that is my opinion. Like I said, am just some ding-dong on the internet. Don't take anything I say with a grain of salt. Believe what you want to believe, and hopefully Cathay comes. I have to be quick. I have gotten like 0 sleep. My little dude's hella sick, so I gotta bounce. But I will be back on later tonight when he's sleeping to do some painting. World Eaters somehow 30K won the vote. If you want to have a say, go vote in the community tab on YouTube, because right now we're looking at doing Armatura, making an Armatura campaign, and it's going to be World Eaters crushing the crap out of Ultramarines. And I'll be painting Ultramarines on the channel, which, Crypt Shadow, I know you're excited for. But I'll be doing the Ultramarines to do with the World Eaters. It's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to kind of bringing it to life. If there's anything you guys want to see fantasy related, let me know. If you have any opinions, let me know. If you think I'm an idiot and I'm a dumbo, heard more, and you think it's Cathay and I'm a dummy, I'm cool with being a dummy too. Like I said, I win. Either I win. If Cathay gets an army, I'm excited. I'm happy for it. If it doesn't, it is what it is. But everybody, until next time, it's been the Tabletop Tyrant. Here's my spicy hot take of nonsense, and I will see you later on tonight when it's time to paint. Peace.